Welcome to ServiceNow Tech Bites, where we help you use the product better. I'm your host, Steve Miller. Today we're going to talk about benchmarks with product managers Manjeet Singh and Brian Hollandsworth. We'll be talking about what benchmarks is, some of the details of how it works, new features for Jakarta, and lots more. Stay tuned. Joining us today are Manjeet Singh and Brian Hollandsworth. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Steve.
Happy to be here, Steve.
Manjeet and Brian are both product managers in the ITSM business unit. We're lucky to have them here today. They took time out of a whirlwind schedule of meetings to join us, and we're glad to have their insider's expertise in the product. Manjeet, can you tell us a little bit about what you do here at ServiceNow?
Yeah, sure. So I'm part of the ITSM business unit, part of the product management group. I joined ServiceNow about 2 years ago, so I'll finish 2 years in December. What I'm focused on in last 1 year is building the benchmark product because this is the value we want to provide to our customers. And I'm also focused on driving the other CSI initiatives, and CSI here is the continual service improvement. When I'm not at work, I'm a fitness enthusiastic. So I spend a lot of time in learning about workouts, new nutritions, and I help family and friends in benchmarking their fitness level and up-leveling their game into the health.
Okay, sounds good. And how about you, Brian?
So I'm a product manager working on the portfolio as a whole. I kind of look at how our customers can get more value and how we can also look across the company and combine ITSM with other products to, again, help our customers get more value. So one of the ways we can do that is through our benchmarks capability that Manjeet has been working on. So I'm here to help with this conversation. I've been with ServiceNow for over 6 years, so it's been a fun journey. And outside of work, I decompress from not working all the time.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started then. Manjeet, for folks who aren't familiar with benchmarks, can you tell us a little bit about what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. So Benchmark is a new application we built in Jakarta release. So what it does is it enables our customers to compare their service management performance with the industry peers. So that's at a high level. So to give more detailed explanation, so in the benchmarks, we take the data from our cloud, we anonymize the data, we give the comparisons based on the industry and the number of users. So you can slice and dice the data and have the meaningful conversation to find out what is working well and what is not working well, and can plan your future investment and the improvement opportunities.
Okay, Brian, let me ask you, what kind of options do customers have in general, aside from benchmarks, to measure their performance?
Well, before we had ServiceNow benchmarks on our platform, customers had to go to third-party consulting firms to try and get this data, through expensive assessments and going through and collecting their proprietary benchmarks and comparing themselves against those. So, as you can imagine, the way that data is collected is via surveys, which can be stale. There can be some biases associated with the questions and the way the answers are submitted. And so by the time you actually get the information, it may or may not be actually useful to help you with your business. So what we've done with ServiceNow is the data is actually real time. So the KPIs that we're measuring are using real time data from our system. These are compared on I believe it's a monthly basis, where we go through and we bring in that data and do the monthly comparisons for how people compare against their peers.
Okay. In addition to the live data that you talked about, are there other differentiators between our service and other folks?
So in addition to being live data, this data is all stored in our cloud. So we maintain full security of that data. So you're not handing it out to an external firm. So all the security controls that we have in place, all the availability controls we have in place, that's all managed by us. So you don't need to sign another agreement to hand this off to somebody else. And then, of course, it's accessible from any device. So you can get to this through the standard web browser interface, or you can get to this through your iPad or phone.
Okay. And with all this capability, how much extra do customers have to pay for it?
Nothing extra. So this capability is something that we've put into the platform to add further value to our customers. So we like to, add continuous value. We are subscription-based services. People have made an investment in us, and we like to invest in them as well.
Okay, Manjeet, maybe you can tell us, how do customers get started using benchmarks?
So we have two different flavors of benchmark out there. If you are not a Jakarta customer yet, you can go to our high service portal and look at your benchmarks. If you have already upgraded to Jakarta, then we brought in this functionality as part of the instance, so you can look at a more detailed view of benchmarks within the Jakarta instance. The one difference I'll cite out here is if you go to high, you will only see 6 KPIs because that is our basic versions. In the Jakarta, we have introduced KPIs from the ITSM and as well as the ITOM. So, which means that this is a generic framework and not just tied to the ITSM customers. And we expect the more product lines joining us with their set of KPIs in the future. And we have given a broad coverage in terms of the KPIs. So we have the KPIs from the incident management, we have problem management, all the important pieces like the backlog, the SLA, KPIs, the mean time to resolve a P1 incidents. And these are the KPIs which we find that resonates with a lot of customers and will be very valuable when comparing, when doing the measurement and comparison.
Okay. Do all customers have access to this functionality?
Yeah, pretty much all customers. There are a few exceptions there. The express customers, because their activity level is way different than a typical enterprise customer. So we don't want to skew the global benchmarks number. Federal is another category because of kind of the regulations they have. We are not allowed to add them into the benchmarks. And the MSP, the managed service provider or domain separated instances are not part of the Jakarta release.
Now, a bit ago, you mentioned that one of the valuable features of benchmarks is that it enables companies to compare themselves to their peers. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, so the measurement is just the one part of it, but to fully get the benefit out of the benchmarks, so you start with measuring your own performance on the key KPIs, then you compare with your peers, whether it's you can compare with the industry vertical or the number of users. And then the step from there is you start analyzing, where are the performance gaps? Where are the process bottlenecks? What are the pain points? And you can do it very easily. Just look at the benchmark dashboard report, and then you see on which KPIs you are in the red zone, which KPIs you are doing well, and then start analyzing on the areas where the performance are below the benchmark average.
Now, it seems like putting together all that data and fitting the individual organization into it is a big task. How do you normalize that data across all the global data set?
That's a very, very good question because we have such a large customer base, particularly in the ITSM product line, and ServiceNow platform is highly customizable, right? So we know that our customers are using the different configurations and different settings. So what we do is to make sure the benchmark data quality is maintained month over month as we are refreshing these benchmark reports. So we take this data through a series of statistical analysis. One method we use is the interquartile range. And these methods are different based on the KPI distribution, because on some KPIs, the data distribution is way different than the other KPIs. And then we take the data through the anomaly detections, outlier removals, so that the average is not impacted just because some customer did some weird activities or abnormal activity in a month.
Okay, and where do you get all this data from?
So this ServiceNow is a cloud platform. So this data is coming out from our customer instances. So let me clarify a little bit when I say data means. It's not the customer instance data. So when you opt in from the Jakarta instance, we only take the usage count data. For example, we are only if you look at the KPIs, we are only interested in the number of incidents. We take the value from individual instances, we bring into a central benchmark instance where we aggregate the data on the global level, at the industry level, and at the user size bucket.
Okay, maybe you can tell me what platform technology we use to collect this data.
Yeah, so we have integrated benchmarks on top of the performance analytics. So performance analytics is our analytic offering that is available as part of the platform. So instead of writing a new collection engine, it made sense to leverage the PA collection engine, and PA here is performance analytics again for clarity. There's the good news here is there is no extra licensing cost, hooray, because we don't we want to give more value to the customers.
Is there a performance impact to the product from doing this data collection?
No, I mean we did a very extensive testing. We ran our test on a instance which has more than 10 million incidents. And the fact that we are using the existing PA technology for the collection, so it's same as you as a customer creating a new reports. And this we are only interested in the incremental monthly data. So it's not that we are doing a lot of historical collection, and that can have those jobs might run for a long time. So it's basically the few milliseconds to max few seconds.
Well, within the customer's organization, who can see the data?
Yeah, so if we look at this, who is the consumer of this data, right? As benchmark is accessible to everybody. So we gave two roles in the platform. One is benchmark admin and a benchmark viewer. So benchmark admin role is the person who will do the opting into the benchmarks, setting up the KPI definitions, and the benchmark viewer is the persona who is only responsible or will want to look at the benchmark reports. Talking about the persona, so the most of the customers who are or the personas who are interested in looking at these benchmarks is the higher up in the management, because they care about what is the customer satisfaction score, what is the quality of my service delivery, and the process owner or the service desk managers.
Okay. Well, if I'm a user, how would I see the KPI definitions and how they're calculated?
There are multiple ways to see KPIs. So if you go into the benchmark dashboard, so you can click on the anywhere on a KPI, and it will show you a detailed description, what formula we are using for the collection. And the good news is, we gave this flexibility so that you can change the KPI definitions. If you're a benchmark admin, then you go into the KPI setup page and you can see a detailed KPI definition there.
Okay, and how do you go about customizing KPIs?
So you need to have the benchmark admin role. And once you are in the benchmark setup screen, if you hold the mouse on a KPI and a pencil icon will show up, and it will let you look at what is the current definition. If your implementation is different than what's available as part of the release, then you can go ahead and change it. So one classical example is the incident priority. All right. So our definition of high priority incident is we're looking for priority P0 and we're looking for priority P1. But let's say for a customer, they track high priority as P1 plus P2, so they can easily go and pick the right fields in there.
Now, suppose a customer doesn't want to participate in the data aggregation. Is there a way that they can opt out of that?
Yeah. So we in Jakarta, it's a manual opt-in. And if you as a customer, you opted in and later you change your mind that you don't want to participate, you can opt out from the entire benchmark program. But we have also given this granular control. So we have 16 KPIs in Jakarta, and you may decide to, hey, I want to stay opted only on 5 or 10 of them. So you can do the basically opt-in based on each KPI. There's a nice UI slider bar button you can turn on and off.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that the data collection and analysis, that data figures are provided basically on a monthly basis. How do you know when new data is available?
We have built-in email notification workflow. So anybody who has the benchmark admin or a benchmark will get notified when this new month data is downloaded into your instance.
Okay. Now, suppose I'm a customer and I see data that I don't think is correct. What do I do?
So if you look at the key reason why data may not be correct is, you have some heavy customizations in your platform on your table. So what you can do is while you're looking at your benchmark report, you click onto anywhere on a KPI. And as you mentioned, we have a very tight integration with the performance analytics, which gives you the next level of analysis. So you can look at what actual records were included for that KPI calculation, and there you can see if you have a need to change the KPI definitions, which you can do by going into benchmark setup.
Okay, Manjeet, I wonder if you could give us an example or two of ways where customers have used benchmarks to help their business.
So I have multiple examples. Instead of using a customer example, I'll use our own ServiceNow IT scenario. So they started using benchmarks in October last year. And then what they found out is they thought they are doing well because in the last 1 year, they have improved their, some of the KPIs, the mean time to resolve, by 2 hours. So they brought it down from 10 hours to 8 hours. But what surprised them when they start comparing against benchmark, they realized that the other customers in the same technology industry are resolving incidents in 4 hours. And then, we have some work to do now. How can we go up, not just by beating the average, but how can we? The first goal is that I want to be better than the average. That's what I had the conversation with our IT team. From there on, they started the analysis part, as I was mentioning, because you measure yourself, you compare and find out where do you stack up, and then you go into the analysis part. When analyzing this mean time to resolve KPIs, they looked at the few, the obvious candidates. What are the leading indicators there? The SLA, the number of reassignments which are happening. There were few incident categories which were not picked up right on the time. So after doing few with this analysis, they came up with a set of recommendations or the prescriptions. And they implemented those recommendations, creating a new knowledge base. They found out some opportunities for training the service desk agent, creating more service catalog items so that many of the recurring tasks can be automated. And after 4 months, they were able to outperform the industry average. And now their next goal is they want to be best in the class. And when I asked, hey, what is the best in the class definition? Hey, we want to be in the top 10% in our industry. So that's how, the benchmarks helps in letting you know that where you are and defining your goals, defining your targets, and having the right conversation and continuously keeps on finding the improvement opportunities.
Okay. Got any other examples to share?
Yeah. So another example is the goal setting, right? So the benchmark is a fantastic tool for the continual service improvement. So you can look at the last 6 month trending information into the chart. So basically, you're looking at the monthly performance, and then you can look at the last 6 months of history. And why this 6 month history trending information is powerful, because now you can see how your performance is trending over last 6 months compared to your peers, right? If you are improving or you are, you're regressing in your performance and compared to where the industry is going. So in one of the example, the customer found out that in their particular industry, particularly in the last quarter, like around the Christmas timeframe, there was an industry-wide seasonality trend. So first they were like, hey, it's just our performance which is getting hit, but then it's the whole industry. I think the user behavior during that timeframe. So benchmark lets you look at the one of the focused view on looking at your performance and looking at a more of the high-level view. Comparing at the month-over-month trending information.
Okay, thanks a lot, Manjeet, for the details on the product. Brian, maybe you can give our customers some advice. How would they get started using the product?
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. So if customers who are on the Istanbul release can get to their benchmarks through the High Service Portal, so that's something that people have opted into and it's available today. Customers on the Jakarta release need to opt in to use the product. And you can do this by going to type in benchmarks in the application navigator and selecting the opt-in option. And as Manjeet explained, you can choose which KPIs that you're going to use. And if you're not a customer yet, you can actually go to our ServiceNow.com website and you can look at some of the benchmark insight reports that we've published and made available to understand what kinds of observations our customers have made and changes that they've made as a result of that.
Yeah, and I'll just throw in a few more resources that. So we have a dedicated community workspace for the benchmarks. I've been putting out a few blogs out there talking about more use cases, how you can leverage benchmarks to your competitive advantage. And then we have the feedback form. The next thing we are working on is, so in the ServiceNow product portfolio, there are multiple tools that you can use for your continual service improvement, and benchmark is one of the most important tool to drive your continual service improvement journey. So it's free, free to all the ITSM and ITOM customers, and it's part of our roadmap strategy, and we will keep investing and bringing in the more powerful benchmarks.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I just want to thank you again for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having us, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
For more information on benchmarks or any other topic, please take a look at our product documentation, knowledge base, or Now Support YouTube channel. To suggest topics or ask questions about this podcast, check the ServiceNow community. Thanks for listening.